Hey everybody, it's me, Candace Zeiger. Welcome. Today I am going to be doing a tutorial showing you how I straighten my hair. I'm going to add some tips in there that you guys can use if you want to use a flat iron. I know everybody doesn't use a flat iron, and I often have people that come in that aren't familiar with using a flat iron. And so I think it's important that I share with you just some basic things that you want to look for in a flat iron and how to use it as well. So that way you'll kind of know what to do if you decide it's something that you want to try. Okay, so starting out, I did not wash my hair today. I actually washed my hair yesterday. And when I washed my hair yesterday, I made sure to put something in it that's going to hold it, that's going to help me to get a little bit of volume. So what I chose to use was a little bit of a root booster. If you're not familiar with a root booster, they can be drying to the hair. But if you're someone that has finer hair that typically needs some volume, they can be a lifesaver really. So I put a little bit of that actually on my hands. So it comes with a little short nozzle, and I just shook it up, put a little bit on my hands and put it in my wet hair. And then I put a little bit of gel on the ends, just like a medium hold gel. I like to do that because if you're going to fix your hair, you really want it to hold, right? You don't want to fix it, and if there's a little bit of humidity or if you're dancing or something like that, it's going to come undone. You want it to stay. So it's really important that you prep it properly, and I actually have a video, 4 products for 4 days, and if you guys are interested, you can check that out to find out more about how I go about prepping my hair to go for 4 days of wear. So I'm gonna have a couple of tools with me. I've got my flat iron, right? I've got a comb. I have a small little hairbrush that is my kids' travel wet brush. That's what I got, so that's what I'm using. And then I have some hairspray, right? So I'm using a pretty good hold hairspray. You can use, something that is going to give it some staying power. What's interesting, even if you use a harder hold hairspray, usually once you brush them out, they're not really that stiff. So I actually suggest for people to use from like a medium to a strong hold hairspray to really get the benefit of humidity resistance and things like that. So a little trick that I like to tell people is if you don't have thermal spray, or if you don't want to buy a separate product as a thermal spray, at least use hairspray. We always use thermal spray in the salon. My favorite is the Kuhn Prep Spray, but if you don't have that at home, you need to be using something that's going to help it stay. So I'm going to start by just kind of sectioning my hair off like this. If you guys noticed, I'm actually using like an old school scrunchie. Those are really the best to get your hair to not have like marks and lines in your hair. I sleep in one of these every night because I can put it up on top of my head and I'm not gonna have that big line on the top when I'm done. So what I do is I just take my hairspray, right? And I just spray it, and you wanna kind of pump it just like a few short little sprays, and then I brush through it. Now, if you're not used to using a flat iron, it's really an easy process. I think that people think about it a little bit more than you really need to. But all it is just the 2 sides like this. I like to buy a flat iron where the plate continues on the side. That's something that I look for in a flat iron. But you're really just wanting to start at the root area and work your way to the end. Going really fast sometimes actually takes you a lot more time. So I do like to tell people, hey, slow down, take a little bit of time when you do this, and it'll actually go a lot faster. So I just go to the root area and out. Something that you want to be aware of is your temperature, right? When you're flat ironing your hair, you don't always have to have it on like a super high temperature, unless your hair is really, really resistant, but you want to make sure it's really strong. If you are going to be using a little bit higher flat iron, I would suggest making sure that you're using stuff to protect your hair and condition it. because it can, of course, break your hair off putting a super high heat on it. So when you go to the root area, if you don't want to have a line, you can just gently do what I'm doing here. So I just go through, and instead of like totally clamping it down at the root, I just increase the tension as I'm going down my hair. A lot of times people will talk about the back of their hair and how that's where they struggle a little bit. Honestly, there's so many different ways that you can pull it and do it for you, that I actually think that you just kind of have to find what works best for you. One thing that I think can trip people up when they're working with a flat iron or a curling iron, or even doing braids or something like that, is they look in the mirror a lot and it's backwards. And so I think that actually can make it more difficult, as crazy as that sounds. But when you don't stare at the mirror when you're trying to learn a braid or something like that, it's actually a lot easier for you to do. So I'm just going to brush that hairspray through. You guys probably noticed when I pulled this up to spray my hairspray, I made sure that I'm getting like underneath. And then this little mohawk section right here, no matter how you wear it, you want to pull that up, and you want to make sure that you're spraying all around on that, and then you're brushing it through, right? If you go ahead and do that, this process is going to go way easier than if not. Now, I put a little bit of dry shampoo on my hair, so it's really not that dirty right now. I did that earlier this morning. And all I do, and I did iron this just a little bit, so it has already been started, but with the top, I just go straight down. Now, watch this, because this is where it gets a little different. I'm not going all the way to the root when I do this part, because I'm going to do the root differently than I'm doing the ends. Okay? Now this is where you can kind of curl or whatever you want to do there. When I do the back, if you're having trouble, you can try splitting it like this. So going down the back and just splitting your hair and grabbing like this side and that side, making sure that you're not clamping down really hard. All right, so I did that side. I'm gonna go over to this side. Sometimes it's just our positioning of our hands, I think, that can make it a little bit more difficult. But going ahead and getting that hairspray out of the way and brushing it through is what's going to really save me a lot of time. Okay. Same thing here. All right. Now the mohawk section, you guys saw how I sprayed the hairspray. I comb it straight down like this. And this is where your comb can be your best friend, because I have my comb straight down like this. You can either go this way or I can go across this way, okay? That's what makes it easy. So see how I'm going across? And then this is a section, okay? Now that's gonna maybe be a little bit difficult to some of you. This may be easier, getting the end of the comb and going across this way. I actually think that's a little bit harder than going this way. Okay, so I kind of take, it's like a diagonal part. And instead of going down, this time we're going up. Make sure you don't go too fast. And see how I'm actually not even looking in the mirror? That's helping me, really. As long as you have a feel of the iron and where it is, just omit that looking in the mirror. Okay, now I may want to do like a cool middle part tonight. So I'm going to split it and decide where I want it to go back at. So I want it to go back a little bit farther than where I am right now. And you can even pick up each side, right? Go back. Okay, now when you get to the front, this is where it depends on how your hair is cut. I have it cut to where I can actually wear mine in a middle part and do different things. I actually went through and cut this entire section of my hair in the front, so it's a little bit shorter because the shape of my face really needs a little bit of something different. So something I can do to get a little lift, if I don't want this to be like totally flat, I'm gonna go behind where I actually wear my bangs, okay, like this. All right, so I still have some down. And for this part, I'm just gonna spray a little extra because I wanna make sure that this around my face is staying where I put it. All right. You wanna make sure that's not sticking out. And it's gonna look funny for a minute. All right, and this, I'm going up just like I did the other way, except I'm going forward. Okay. All right, so you guys kind of saw what I did right there. And now these pieces, I'm going down like this, all right? So down like this. So I have the lift back there and then down and out. I am looking in the mirror for this one. And what I'm doing, guys, when I was talking about having the iron come all the way over, you can kind of use where the edge of that iron just to get a little bit of like interest in front. Here, I'm just kind of curling it back, all right? So my hair's still straight, right? But it's got a little bit of something going on to where it's not just straight flat. All right, so now I'm just gonna give it a little comb out and kind of shake it out. All right, at this point you could put like a little bit of a texture product if you wanted it a little bit more textured. You could put a little bit of, you know, like a shine spray or something like that. I'll probably just finish this with hairspray in just a little bit. I like to use a little bit of like an oil to give it a little bit of like a gloss at the end, but you guys can kind of see what I got going on here and how it's gonna look. When I was talking about my bangs and wearing it a little bit different ways, you can see that even if I kind of decide to throw them over here, I've got options this way too. May have to adjust it just a little bit, but you guys kind of get the feel for what I'm going for, okay? So I hope this was helpful in using a flat iron. If you guys have any questions regarding a flat iron or comments, just let me know. But it's Candace Zeiger. I'm a stylist at Posh Spa and Salon, and I hope you guys enjoy this beautiful Saturday. I'll see you soon.